Earlier this week, you worked on learning about how to find the perimeter, the distance around different shapes. Today we're going to do that again, but we're going to pick some common shapes and try to figure out shortcuts for how to do the perimeter on these shapes. Let's look at this shape. This is a rectangle because it has two sets of parallel lines and opposite sides are equal, and it has right angles. So if I was going to find the perimeter of this shape, I could write 12 plus 18 plus 12 plus 18. Can you see where I got those numbers from? 12, 18, 12, 18. And then I'm going to add them up. I'm using mental math to see that 12 and 18 equals 30, and 12 and 18 equals 30. So the perimeter for this is 60. But we don't know 60 what. The unit wasn't given. So this isn't a very complete perimeter, but it shows you how we found that. But I do want you to notice that the opposite sides are the same length as each other. That's part of what makes this shape a rectangle. Another rectangle, but oh no, they've only given us 2 of the side measurements. We can see that this side is 8 centimeters and this side is 5 centimeters. But what about this side and that side? Well, because it's a rectangle, we know that opposite sides are the same length. So if one side is 5 centimeters, the opposite side is also 5 centimeters. Same with the 8. If the bottom is 8 centimeters, then the top is 8 centimeters. And then I can just add all the numbers up to get the perimeter. Watch and see the order I add them and see if you can tell why I picked that order. I'm going to go 5 plus 5 plus 8 plus 8. Order doesn't matter in addition. Did you guess? I did 5 plus 5 because I can add 10s really fast. That means it's going to be 10 plus 16, which equals 26. Is my perimeter correct yet? Nope, I need the unit, 26 centimeters. So even though it only gave us 2 sides of that rectangle, we can still tell what the missing sides are and use that as the perimeter. Here we are again, another rectangle, and oh no, the sides are missing. But because it's a rectangle, I know the missing sides. I just want to make sure to get them all. So to help me make sure I get them all, I'm going to write my missing sides in. I have 7 on this side, so I know it's 7 on that side. And I have 12 on this side, so I know it's 12 on that side. Now we can just add them up. I'm going to do something interesting for this one. First, I'm going to add 7 plus 12 and figure out what that equals. It equals 19. And I can do the same thing. 7 plus 12 for the other 2 sides, which equals 19. So I did the first 2 sides, and then I did the second 2 sides here. And what was my last step? I'm going to add those 19s together. So 19 plus 19 equals 38. 38 what? 38 centimeters. That's my perimeter. So we did a couple different ways to add the sides of a rectangle, and they all work because they're all adding all 4 sides. Because it's addition, the order I add them in doesn't matter. I'm still going to get the right answer, but you can change the way you add the numbers. You can change the order to make it make sense for you. What about squares? Now, what makes this square a square is that it has 4 equal sides and all the corners are right angles. So this should be pretty easy to find the perimeter. I'm just going to add 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4. And what is 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4? Well, that perimeter equals 16 centimeters. Wait a minute. If I'm adding the same number over and over again, Aren't I really multiplying? Yes, I am. Here's our square again, and oh no, once more, they've only given us 2 of the sides of the square. But because I know about squares, I can use those sides to figure out the missing sides. So since a square has 4 equal sides, if this side is 5 centimeters, I know that every other side is also going to be 5 centimeters. So I can use that to find the perimeter, the distance around my square. I'm going to add 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5, which equals 20. 20 what? 20 centimeters. Mrs. Brown, you put the equal sign on the wrong side. Did I? Is there a wrong side for an equal sign? There isn't really. I could also do this as a multiplication problem because I am doing 5, that's the length of each side, and I'm adding it 4 times. 5 times 4 also equals 20 centimeters. So you can get the perimeter of a square either by addition or by multiplication, because they're kind of the same thing. Here's another square, and this time, one of its sides is 10 feet long. But, oh no, they only gave you the measurement of one side, but it's a square. So you know how to find the other measurements of the sides. If this side is 10 feet, every other side equals 10 feet. And we know there's 2 different ways to do this. One by writing an addition sentence, one by writing a multiplication sentence. As I write them, think about which way you would choose. I could write 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 10, which equals 40. 40 what? 40 feet. Or, because I'm doing 10 4 times, I can write 10 times 4 equals 40 feet. Which did you like better? Did you like the addition strategy or the multiplication strategy? They both work. So here we have a triangle. This is a very special triangle. It's called an equilateral triangle. Equilateral just means all the sides are the same length, which you can kind of see by looking at it. 20 meters, 20 meters, 20 meters. So how will we find the perimeter? We're going to add up all the sides. 20 plus 20 plus 20 equals 60 meters. Mrs. Brown, could that also be a multiplication sentence? I'm so glad you asked, invisible student. Why, yes, it can. I can write 20 times, how many sides are there? There's 3. 3 sides, which equals 60 meters. This trick, this multiplication trick, just works for things where all the sides are the same length, like triangles and rectangles. Or sorry, not rectangles, squares. So don't try it for everything, but if all the sides are the same length, you can multiply the length of one side times how many sides there are. The length of one side times how many sides there are. That's another nice trick. Last triangle. This is once again an equilateral triangle. All the sides are the same length. They only gave us one side, but that's okay. It's equilateral, so we know that if this side is 6 inches, this side is 6 inches, and this side is 6 inches. So how can we find the perimeter? Well, we can add 6 plus 6 plus 6, which equals 18 inches, or we can do a multiplication sentence. The length of the side is 6 inches, and there are 3 equal sides, so the perimeter is 18 inches. So we've practiced find the perimeter of regular shapes, shapes like squares, equilateral triangles, and rectangles. The important thing to remember is to make sure you add up the length of every side on the shape. There's lots of different ways that you can do it, and all of them will work as long as you are adding up every side length on your shape.